Before she begins training, Victoria will spend the day observing the issues firsthand.
As I came through the door, I was greeted by lots of people and lots of dogs and a very, very unhappy Dachshund that was being held by Eric, growling at me, barking at me, and I had no doubt that if Eric put him on the ground, he would have gone for me.
Maybe.
All right, so tell me the conflict then.
Oscar's aggression, that's our most important problem. Oscar has bitten several people, I would say at least 10, maybe more. I'm afraid that somebody's really going to get hurt.
Dachshunds are feisty dogs. They're badger dogs. They were used to go and fight and flush out badgers. So when that dog bites, it bites.
Another serious issue that has become standard in this household is Oscar's reaction toward visitors.
Oscar might be a little Dachshund, but he has a big mouth and very sharp teeth.
That is still frightening me.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
He's bit me before.
He has bitten.
Really hard.
Oh.
Yeah, he like attacked me.
Well, tell me about that.
I just walked in one day and then he was barking, like kind of like how he did just now, and then he like bit me on the tush.
He jumped up and bit you?
Mm-hmm. It was bleeding.
It was
A lot.
bleeding.
And when Kim's friends get up to leave, Oscar unleashes his full aggression.
Oscar's now 2. He's had 2 years of aggressive response. Eric should have addressed this at an early age to nip it in the bud. But now, he has a dog that is highly compromised and even with behavioral training remains a real liability. I am concerned, very concerned about Oscar's behavior.
Sorry.
You have an incredibly stressed out dog here. The dogs only get walked 4 times a week. I mean, I see a lot of leash reactive dogs, but altogether, that was insane. But not walking them is making Oscar's aggression worse because he's not getting that outlet for all of his energy. So these dogs are now going to be on a schedule where everybody, including Rob, is going to put in the time with these dogs to get them out.
Before she can train the other dogs, Victoria wants to work with Oscar one-on-one.
Because Oscar has such a bad reaction towards strangers, before I can train him, I have to bond with him.
Well, Oscar's never gone on a walk with anybody but me or Kim or Rosie, so it'll be interesting to see how Victoria does.
Yeah. Are you a little uncertain? Come on. And when he does come with me, I'm going to reward him. When you stimulate a dog's appetite, it gives them a feeling of pleasure, just as with a human. So you're replacing a negative feeling with a positive feeling. Very good. Very good. Oscar doesn't trust new people, so I have to go very slowly and carefully with him in order to build up that trust. Good boy.
Once she's gained Oscar's trust, Victoria heads back inside to work with Eric.
I want to do some work with you now, Eric, because I want you to be much more of a leader, much more of an authority to your dogs.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm ready.
Eric has done very little obedience training with Oscar. In fact, he's done no kind of training with Oscar. So we really have to go back to basics. And to do this, I started with just a very basic sit command. Let's just wait for him, see if he can figure out. How do I get that treat? When you're first teaching a dog a command, all you have to do is really simply nothing. You just wait for the dog to give you a behavior that you like and then you reward it.
What a good boy.
And within a very short space of time, Oscar put his bottom on the ground. I then told Eric to say the sit command as Oscar was putting his bottom on the ground.
Sit. Good boy.
Oh, your timing was beautiful. Absolutely perfect. So now, ask him to sit.
Sit. Sit. Sit.
Sit. No, don't only say once. Take the treat away. Now move it back in front of his face and tell him to SIT.
Sit. Sit. Good boy.
Now Victoria wants to give Eric a word to use to gain Oscar's focus when guests arrive.
What word would you feel like using? Anything.
Friend?
Friend. Perfect. I'll demonstrate. You can do this. Friend. 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 You're building up the word with the food. Because when that friend comes in, immediately we're going to make that association. We're going to go through what happens when guests come a bit later on, but this is building up. So I want you to work on sit and then friend, just even, 5 minutes. That's all I want you to do, sort of 5 minutes, 3 times a day. As soon as the doorbell rings, all the dogs get excited. They're barking, especially Cuckoo's barking, riles Oscar up even more. It's one huge bark fest. The first step was I had a guest come to the door, ring the doorbell. The dogs, of course, barked. I had Eric pick Oscar up, take him upstairs, and put him in his bedroom. Nice and calm, nice, Eric.
Hello. Come on in.
Okay, just ignore. After the dogs greeted the guest, the family took the other dogs upstairs and put them in Kim's room. Then Eric went into his room, he leashed up Oscar and he brought Oscar down. Lovely. Just give him to me, okay? Come here, Papas. Come here. Come here. All right. What I want you to do is, if you just make a movement. Friend. Good boy. I want him to look at Matt first before he gets the treat. So I'm going to look at Matt. Hey, how are you?
I'm well. How are you?
Good. I'm fine, thank you. Friend. Good. We'll keep an eye of when he looks at him. I told the family that if they wanted success and they wanted to condition Oscar to see guests as something good rather than something bad, they were going to have to do this every single time a guest came round to their house. Eric, I'd like you to take over from what I'm doing, and I'd like you, when he looks over at our guest, to do the same thing. Friend and treat.
You gotta have a look at our guest. Friend?
Good. Nice.
We definitely love Victoria's training methods. We like that it's positive.
Just say work as a team, do this training, and you're going to really condition your dog to see guests as something good rather than something bad.
Kim and Eric are also working together to get Oscar more comfortable with guests.
I'm gonna put Oscar in the room.
While Eric continues with Oscar upstairs, Kim allows the other dogs to greet their guest.
It's okay. Toby and Sammy are nice. Okay.
So come on, dogs. All dogs, follow me.
Next, Eric moves the other dogs upstairs before bringing Oscar down to get an introduction.
Here's some treats to feed Oscar. If you'd throw him treats and just say the word friend.
Friend?
Okay, I'm gonna come over here and sit down. Let's see if he'll behave. Come on, Husky. So, what a good boy you are. What a good boy. See that? It's amazing what a few treats will do. The guest training has worked remarkably well, considering how short a time we've implemented it.
Victoria is returning to the Berry family's home to get them back on track with the training.
Hi, Victoria.
Hi.
Please come in.
Hello. When I first walked back into the house, I was impressed to see that Oscar had been removed and that the family were practicing the greeting technique. Hi, Oscar.
Hello.
Oh, well, this is a bit of a difference from when I first came in, isn't it? He was much more calm, much more relaxed. He came right up to me, and I think Oscar's gonna be fine.